We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy, in most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate one orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by plowing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible. Some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. We must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
I request all the members of the audience to kindly settle down so that we can begin our event. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. This ancient Sanskrit mantra recognizes the value of Guru's teaching in finding a connection with divinity. It is ultimately an expression of gratitude for all spiritual teachers and the guidance they give in overcoming ignorance to find enlightenment and awakening. Namaskar. I am Soumya Shukla, and on behalf of the Embassy of India, The Hague, Netherlands, welcome you to this magical afternoon where we are in the presence of the revered Sadhguruji. May I now request Ambassador Designate of India to the Kingdom of Netherlands, Her Excellency Mrs. Reenath Sandhuji, to kindly give a note of welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a real pleasure and I'm very delighted to welcome Sadhguruji amidst us at the Gandhi Cultural Center today. I think Sadhguru needs no introduction. We all have heard him, we have read about him. Many of you may have already met him. And therefore, it is indeed a real honor and privilege that he has found time to join us this afternoon. So Sadhguru is here on a very special mission, which is to raise awareness about soil depletion. And he has embarked on a solo journey to raise awareness and take his message to people across 25 countries, covering 30,000 kilometers. And this is not all. He has done a lot of work relating to sustainability and environmental degradation in the past. So the message that he brings to us is extremely relevant, extremely significant, not only for us, but for our future generations. And I'm really happy that he has chosen Netherlands to be a part of his journey, because Netherlands has done a lot of work in the area of environment, and they have a lot of expertise, whether we look at water management in the area of agriculture, horticulture, floriculture. They are very advanced. And environment and climate action is very high on their agenda, just like it is also for India. So we are doing a lot of work, a lot of collaboration with the Netherlands in these priority sectors. Just yesterday I visited an area in Amsterdam which has been totally reclaimed from the sea. Showing the kind of challenges that they face here and how they are working to overcome the challenges. So indeed, it is a matter of great honor to welcome Sadhguruji to talk to us on this very important topic today. I would like to wish you every success in your journey ahead, and we are all looking forward to listening to you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am. May I request Ambassador Designate Mrs. Reenath Sandhuji to kindly welcome Sadhguruji with a bouquet of flowers. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. I request Sri Sadhguruji to kindly address us now. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Jananam Sukhadham Maranam Karuna Milanam Maduram Smaranam Karunam Kalavashadiha Sakalam Karunam Samayadipate Akilam Karunam. Namaskaram. How are you? Wow. Once we come here as human beings, life gets complicated. If you came here as any other creature on this planet, stomach full, life settled. Once you come here as a human being, stomach empty, only one problem, stomach full, 100 problems. Because somehow survival doesn't seem to suffice for a human being, something more needs to happen. In search of that something more and something more, we have turned the world upside down. This damage that's happened on the planet has not happened because of some evil design. Just ordinary people seeking happiness, in pursuit of human happiness, in pursuit of human well-being. We've done this because we are like that proverbial potato farmer. Anybody potato farmers? No? Once it happened, a potato farmer wanted to eat some apples. So he went to the apple tree. But out of sheer habit, he started digging the ground, looking for apples. After some time, he was furious that there were not enough apples there, or there were no apples there, so he dug so furiously the tree came down upon him. That's our story right now. In pursuit of happiness, in pursuit of well-being, we are ripping the planet apart, hoping somewhere we will find it. Some are wanting to go to heaven to become peaceful and joyful. Some want to dig the earth endlessly. But human well-being, above all human experience, whether it's pain or pleasure, joy or misery, agony or ecstasy, happens only from within you, isn't it so? Hello? Hello? If you don't tell me anything, I'll come and put a pin into you and tell me where is it happening. It doesn't happen somewhere else, it only happens within you. Do you at least see me even if you're not listening, I'm saying? Hello? Do you see me? Yes. Use your hands and show where I am. No, you're missing the point. This light is falling upon me, reflecting, going through your lenses, inverted image in the retina, you know the whole story. So where do you see me? Within yourself. Where do you hear me? Within yourself. Where have you seen the whole world? Within yourself. Anything that ever happened to you happened within you. But in search of pleasantness of experience and profoundness of experience, we are ripping the planet apart, thinking it's going to happen that way. This is a clear case of a potato farmer digging for apples. What happens within you, you're trying to squeeze it out of the planet or the world or the people around you, and it is endless amount of damage. As we become more and more capable with technologies, as we become more and more empowered with all kinds of new machines, our ability to cause damage is just multiplying. But after all this rip-off of the planet, are human beings any more peaceful or any more joyful or any more anything? No, a whole lot of people say peace means they say divine peace. Joy means they say divine joy. Love means they say God is love. I just want to remind you, this is a secret. These are all things human beings are capable of, but some people have exported it to heaven. Hello? You're capable of being peaceful, you're capable of being joyful, you're capable of being loving when you're willing, yes or no? All of you have experienced one moment of peace, joy, ecstasy, blissfulness, at least one moment? So you're capable. The problem is only sustainability. You're not able to be like that for 24 hours of the day. That's the only issue, right? So for this, we're doing all the damage we're doing. I want you to understand, because the moment you say anything ecological or environmental, whom should we punch in the face? Come on, tell me, who is it? All of us. Some more, some less, but every one of us have consumed, isn't it? So this is a movement, Save Soil movement, is about making people understand it doesn't matter what nation you identify with, it doesn't matter what religious beliefs you have, doesn't matter what political philosophies you believe in, doesn't matter what race or caste or creed or gender you are. We all come from soil, live off soil. When we die, at least we go back to soil. The choice is only that if we get it now, that we are… the very body that we carry is soil, if we get it now, we can do something very important in the next few years. Or if you are determined to get it only after you're buried, then also you're still useful, but we can't turn it around. Why I'm saying we can't turn it around is, the loss of the biodiversity in the world is happening at a pace where UNFAO says on an average, 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct per year. At this pace if we go, in about 30 to 40 years' time, we'll reach a place, if we want to regenerate the soil, it will take 150 to 200 years. You know what kind of disaster that is. But if we attempt now, in another 10 to 15 years' time, we can turn this around. This is why, as a generation of people, this becomes very, very important that we act now. Do we want to be that generation which turned humanity away from the brink of a disaster? Or do we want to be that generation which slept through and fell over? Is sleep a crime? Hello? Is sleeping a crime? Hello? If some police catch you and ask, did you commit this crime? You'll say, no, I was sleeping. Sleep is not a crime, isn't it? But if you sleep through your life will be a disaster. It's time to wake up, because this is not a joke anymore, because by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now. That is an established fact. In the last 20 years, the increase of desertification on the planet is about 10% of the planet. 10% of the land area has turned to desert in the last 25 years. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just look up the Google Maps. You will see how the desert is spreading across the world. So, oh, how can desert come here? Well, do you think Saudi Arabia is a desert? Hello? Yes. It is? About 8 to 10,000 years ago, Saudi Arabia was a rainforest. Now it's a desert. The Thar Desert in India was a very fertile, deciduous forest. Just now it is desert. So desert happens, it is not always there. And we can cause it and make it happen much faster, and that's what we're doing right now. So enhancing soil organic content to at least 3 to 6% will keep the soil alive. First and foremost thing is to understand, I've been talking to various agricultural ministries in the world, and I'm shocked to see that everybody is treating soil as an inert material that they can manage by adding this and adding that. No, it's a living system. It is the most complex living system on the planet. If you don't treat it that way, if you do not nurture it that way, future generations won't have soil. Oh, what is the problem if they don't have soil? Well, the very body that you carry is soil, that's what it means. Every worm, insect, animal, bird, tree, plant, man, woman, everything that you see as life around you is a product of this soil, isn't it? Hello? If we destroy this fundamental ingredient of life, if we destroy this most important link in this carbon chain which is the basis of all life that's happening on this planet, we will be in that kind of situation. You know, in India there is a proverb which talks about a man who is busy hacking the branch of a tree, sitting on the wrong end of the branch. When he succeeds, he will fall. Right now that's how we are going. When we succeed, we will fail. That's not nice. When we succeed, we must taste success, isn't it? Not a fall. Right now, we have designed our economies, we have designed our agriculture in such a way, when we succeed, we will fall. That is a silly way of doing it. For over 12,000 years, southern India has had agricultural history. 12,000 years they've been farming the same land, but they kept it well. In the last 50 years, we are nearly becoming a desert because today 62% of India's soil has only 0.5% organic content, which is just verge of desertification. Northern Europe, where you are, it's on an average of 2%, which is not good for a temperate climate. Southern Europe is a shade over 1%, not at all good. Only advantage you have where things may happen more slowly here is, you're using the land only for 4 to 5 months in a year. Rest of the time it's either snow-covered or otherwise, so the deterioration may not happen as rapidly as it happens in tropical lands where we use the land 12 months of the year. But that is not going to be the saving grace. We must understand when it comes to soil, when it comes to ecology, your national boundaries mean nothing. Your race, religion, nonsense means nothing, because life is not happening in that way. This is all happening in human head. Life is happening as one big, massive phenomena. If that phenomena, if we do not respect, we will definitely pay a price. When I said 40% less food by 2045, what does it mean? It means just this. I want you to visualize. Let's say in this city, if 40% of the people don't have food for next 3 days, what do you think will happen? They will all sit quietly in one place and die, is it so? They will rip the city apart. Your civilization will evaporate. Your very humanity will go away, I'm telling you. Yes or no? It's expected by 2032, 1.2 billion people will migrate on the planet because their lands are going infertile. 1.2 billion people. They're going to come somewhere to urban centers. How many do you want to take? I want to know. What's your quota? You will take 20 million? Hello? 10 million at least in Hague? So I'm saying it's going to be one big disaster when people move in unplanned ways. And above all, the untold suffering that it causes to people, especially women and children, go through the worst when they migrate in unplanned ways, when they are dragged through all kinds of terrains, the kind of exploitation, the kind of horrible things that happen for migrating people is not to be spoken about. That's the kind of stuff that's happening. So, if suppose you are a farmer, you're living some remote place, if your land was rich enough, if not for commercial purpose, at least to feed your family, would you leave your land and go away to some unknown place, I'm asking you? No, isn't it? So keeping the land rich, keeping the land alive is one of the most important things that need to be done to stem migration. And migration is not a joke, it's the biggest disaster unfolding right now in the world. Migration is the first step towards famine. Famines are unfolding. Last year, the World Food Program distributed $9 billion worth of food. This year, as you know, you must have heard in the news, David Beasley is going about campaigning very aggressively for $15 billion. They're saying 2023, they need $22 billion. How long will you get food from somewhere and distribute to people? Where people are, food should grow, at least to some extent, isn't it? If not everything. The fundamental need of food must grow around people where they're living. It can't be brought from somewhere else and people can be fed forever. They're expecting by 2035, there could be dozens of civil wars across the world. Anyway, already 50 wars that have… 30 wars that have happened in the last 50 years in Africa, 27 of them was a fight for getting access to fertile lands. So this is where we are going. This is not a world where we want to leave our children and go. But right now as a generation, we have this possibility if we act now. If we enshrine in the policy of every nation, minimum 3 to 6% organic content must be there in the land. As you have laws to manage the buildings in an urban land, there must be laws to manage organic content in rural lands. If we don't do that, we will be a hugely regretful generation in another 20 to 25 years. And we can easily prevent that if we act now. And we must understand why the nations or the governments have not done this is people have never spoken about anything long-term. They're all asking for trinkets. What they ask for is, can we get 1% rebate on my tax? Can I get this benefit, that benefit? Well, that is what the governments are doing. It is time 60% of the world's population speaks and say, we're ready for long-term policy. Long-term policy may mean small sacrifices, but we have to do this if we really have some care and love for our children and the generations that are yet to come. Just to give you a perspective, right now the food that we are eating, all of us are eating, is the food that belongs to the unborn child, not even your tiny tots. The food that belongs to the unborn child, we're eating it up. In my thought and emotion, that feels like a crime against humanity. We need to turn this back. What can I do? What can I do? What you can do is this, that in a democratic country and in the democratic world, the most important thing is the numbers. Numbers is the only currency that matters. We want 3 to 4 billion people across the world to speak about soil for these 100 days in a concerted way. You do one thing, I do another thing, somebody does something, this is not good. We must do it in a concerted way. This does not mean you have to support me. On your own, you talk about soil. You organize your own group and talk about soil. Next 100 days, everybody talk about soil, we'll aggregate these numbers and present it to each nation. How many people in their country wants long-term policy about soil? And we are not advocating any particular kind of agriculture, organic agriculture, regenerative agriculture, we don't want to name anything. Do whatever kind of agriculture you want. One thing is, if you want to build a house or a building in the city, there are laws. Similarly, we want initially laws which are recommendations and incentives, but if things go bad, they have to become mandatory and punitive later on. But right now, incentives to make this happen, that if you have land, minimum 3 to 6% organic content must be there if you're tested. And when you're tested, if you're below that, you must invest to see that it comes up to that. This is not some rocket science, everybody knows how to do it. It's just that there's been no will, there's been no care and concern, that's all it is. If we have little concern in our heart, we can make this happen. Please, if you have any questions.
Thank you, Sadhguru. Thank you, Sadhguruji. We would like to take some questions if you have. Can I request one of my colleagues to kindly pass over the mic?
Namaskar. My name is Wahid Saleh.
Sir, little bit.
My name is Wahid Saleh.
It's not working.
You can use this.
My name is Wahid Saleh. Originally, I come from Assam. As such, I am putting you a question. I have gone through the documentation which is available, but due to lack of knowledge, I am not able to find it. What is your advice or contribution to save soil, not the way you are presenting, but soil is getting lost forever due to erosion? In Assam we have Brahmaputra, The Brahmaputra banks are being eroded almost every year continuously, but the government is not taking any action. And there is action by creating a strong river bank. There are grasses which in Holland, for example, they are using maran grass to strengthen the beach. So also we have in India a vetiver grass. The root goes up to 8 feet to 9 feet deep, but they are not using it because there is no money to be earned. So my question is, what advice you are giving to those people who are losing their land forever?
So this is part of the… Please, sir. A Rally for Rivers policy document. As I said, about 6 states, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't speak here, we made a Rally for Rivers movement about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and this has become the recommendation policy for all the 28 states. And about 6 of these states are proactive about implementing the policy. Others are waiting for a disaster, because most people propel themselves into action only when there is a disaster. When everything is going well, they can't look at what can happen tomorrow, they can only see what's already happened. So because of this short-termism, action is not all there. But right now, as I said, the Government of India has committed itself for 13 river basins. These 13 river basins, based on the project that we are doing in the Kaveri Basin, which covers 83,000 square kilometers and 5.2 million farmers live and work there. Using this module, they've made a detailed project report, and if you have not seen the news, in the last 4 days it's been in the news that Government of India has allocated $2.5 billion for these 13 river basins, which is a very good step. It is not enough money, but this is very first year they've allocated that kind of budget. It is not a small sum, a lot can be done with that. If we successfully do this for these 13 river basins, this covers 67% of India's agricultural land. That is a significant step. So it is being done. Maybe it's never at the pace that we want, of course, but that is the way huge problems are. Huge solutions are also like that, they won't happen overnight, we have to work at it. But in policy it has come, now the budget has come, action has to happen. Just the government cannot do it, people also need to participate at whatever level, especially in a country like India. It's very important people participate because every square feet of land is occupied by somebody, they need to act too.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you for raising this awareness. So I'm a student of sustainability in the Netherlands, and I had one question. Since you're talking about soil and how important it is to bring about a change immediately, and as farmers are one of the most important stakeholders or directly involved with the soil, how important do you think their role is in this mission, and how do you plan to address the same?
Their role is absolute, but I will never go to a farmer and talk about ecology or about saving the planet, because being on the farm and making ends meet is not a joke, it's a circus. And as you know, over 300,000 farmers have committed suicide in the last 20 years in India, and even in United States, the highest level of suicides among all professions is in the farming community. And 50% of US farmers have not seen $1 of profit in the last 12 years. So this problem is not any one nation, it's all over. So don't talk to the farmer about ecology and saving the planet. When it comes to the farmer, we only talk about an economic plan, how he can enhance his economic condition. As a part of this, as I said in Kaveri Basin, in the last 7 to 8 years, many of them in 7 to 8 years' time, they have raised their incomes by 300 to 800% by doing agriculture in a very specialized way. This initially we called as agroforestry, but then we fell under the forest ministry, which was just limitless number of restrictions, then we renamed it as tree-based agriculture. Now we're doing very well with the agriculture ministry. That's how it works. That's how it works, I'm saying. So, farmer's role is vital, but this must be in terms of enhancing his economy, not about ecology. Ecology should be our concern, it should be the concern of the government. As I said, it can only be done with incentives to start with. But if situations become very dire, it may have to become punitive and mandatory. That may be much later. I hope we don't get there.
We have time for one or two more questions. Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Sadhguruji. On behalf of our community, first of all, I would like to say thank you for being such an epitome of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and Save the Soil is such initiative which resonates with lots of us, yeah? That's my message to you. Thank you so much, and we'll all love you on behalf of the Indian community here, yeah? Yeah?
Thank you.
My concrete question is, because I've been working in the corporate world for the last 20 years, where the focus…
Wait, where is that world?
It's right here, yeah, right here.
No, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We are finding in how many ways can we divide the world?
Yeah.
Soil is that aspect which unifies all of us.
Absolutely.
Now, whether you and me act as one when we're alive or we do it when we're buried, this is the choice. So don't use those words.
Yeah.
You're in a
But,
corporate
the point
job,
I
but
wanted to ask was that most corporates are aiming for profit, consumerism, capitalism.
they must do that.
Yeah. But how do you kind of promote the Save the Soil project in that
See, a corporation means… Please,
Thank
please.
you.
Right now in some countries, even in some parts of India, the word corporate means something terrible, something horrible thing, it is. People also call me, I'm a corporate guru. Essentially they mean somebody who does things efficiently. They don't like that. Okay? So corporation means running your business in a more organized and sensible way rather than running it out of your pocket. Hello? Yes or no? That's what it means. So let's not make that into a separate world and leave the world behind. It is just more efficient and sensible way of running your business. Please, let's do that. And business is making profit. They must make profit, because if there is no profit, why the hell will anybody do business? Everybody will seek a job. Hello? Everybody will seek a simple job, because you need to understand, if somebody is making profit, day and night he's on it, okay? It's not like you finish your job and go home in the evening and relax. There's no such thing for one who is running a business. Day or night, it's on and on and on till he reaches a certain point, all right? Maybe he looks a little more glossy to you because he may be driving a bigger car and he may be wearing whatever, more expensive clothing, whatever, but those people who are successful in that sense, financially successful, they neither eat properly, nor sleep properly, nor do anything properly because it keeps them busy, busy and busy, all right? So let's leave that. But if a business doesn't make profit, would you invest in that? I'm asking. No. Then what are we talking about? They're committed to profit, they should be, because their shareholders have demanded that they must make profit, otherwise they will leave them, yes or no? Yes. But now, it is in the policy framework where you have to set it in such a way that whoever makes profit, in some way people should benefit. That's what taxation system is. How efficiently it's working in different countries may be a question mark, but that is a fundamental premise, isn't it? Whoever makes money, everybody should benefit, because not everybody is equally competent, not everybody may be equally focused on their financial stuff. So, that is the idea of policy making, that you make the policy in such a way that everybody benefits. So we should not talk to… as I said, I will not talk ecology to farmers, nor do I talk service to corporates. I said, just do your business well. You expand your business as much as you can, because the purpose of business when you start is profit and money. But as you become large, when you say you're a corporate, Now you must have a vision that you want to make an impact in the world. Only then you will live long. Otherwise, corporations which were very relevant 10 years ago don't even exist right now, isn't it? Any number of them. If you want to stay relevant, it's important that you must have a larger vision than just personal ambition. If you do not transit from personal ambition to a larger vision, you're not going to last very long, nor are you going to grow in any big way. So this also you must understand. About 300, 500 years ago, religious leaders were the most influential and powerful. So at that time, many terrible things have happened. I will not go into that. But then as military machines started building up in a big way, then military leaders became the most dominant and influential people on the planet. Well, you know, because if you built a military machine, you have to use it, otherwise what's the point of a machine? It'll rust. A machine that's not been used will rust and die, isn't it? Like there is a Chinese proverb which says, a sword which has not tasted blood is not a sword. It's no good sword, all right? It needs to taste blood. Whose blood? Not mine, yours of course. All right? That's the way it is. So when military leaders were dominant, destruction happened at a different level and scale. Then in the last approximately 80 to 100 years, largely we have become dominated by, democratically elected leaders. Democracy has one great virtue, that is, every 4 or 5 years you can replace them, all right? And you can change power without blood flowing on the streets. You must understand this. This is the first time in the history of humanity, change of power happening without blood streaming on the streets. Yes or no? Yeah. Otherwise, forever if you look back, always change of power means heads rolled, blood flowed. So this is the beauty of democracy, but at the same time, the problem with democracy is what we are seeing. To take a simple decision, it'll take 5 years. What what one smart man could decide in 5 minutes will take 5 years because 500 people have to agree to the same point. So in spite of all those problems, but the great benefit is you don't have to be ruled by tyrants forever. You may get some tyranny for 5 years, you can find a relief for 5 years. You may get some nonsense for 5 years you can get a relief. Like this, you can play around. So of all the different systems we have tried, this has worked best for us. Many kings have been there who were wonderful for their people, who did great things, but then their sons came. That was the end of it, all right? So, we can't trust those systems, though sometimes they worked phenomenally well. Some kings did phenomenally well for their people, but you couldn't try… you can't believe or it is foolish to believe efficiency is genetically transmitted or good intentions are genetically transmitted. There is no such thing, okay? So, we have gone through those periods of havoc and well-being also in the past. It's better to go through, if at all if you elect the wrong people, you went through some havoc for 5 years is better than 50 years of a fool ruling you, all right? So we've chosen this. So because of this, everything has to be people-driven. This is why even a simple thing everybody understands. What I have seen is, last 2 years continuously I've been meeting people all over the world, scientists, they all agree 100%, politicians, they agree, heads of state, they agree, everybody agrees. Then I was wondering, what is this? Everybody knows what's the problem. Everybody knows what is the general direction of the solution. Then I realized the only thing is they've been waiting for an idiot to bell the cat, so here I am.
I think we have time only for one last question. Somebody from the back or… okay. This is the last question for the
Sadhguru. Welcome to The Hague. My name is Rahul. Hope you had a good journey from London over here and very stylish sunglasses, by the way.
No, why I'm wearing sunglasses even inside? This is my prayer to the sun that he stays on.
Yeah,
for this
especially
Northern
in this
European
country,
ride, because I don't want to freeze up.
especially in this country, we really need the sun. But coming to my
Yeah,
question,
when you're on two wheels, icy roads and two wheels, they're not friends.
yes, yes. So my question is about, we know about air, right? Emissions to air. There's a lot of agreements, Paris Agreement and so on and so forth. We have qualitative regulations in place. For wastewater, of course, there's a lot of regulations. We shouldn't be emitting a lot of waste into the water and so on. You've probably seen, as you said, in the past 2 years about soil, you've spoken to various governments and also experts in the scientific field. How advanced are the qualitative or quantitative analysis of soil, and how far do you think we will take to get there to such a point that we put regulations in place?
I don't want to get into the politics of this, please sit down.
Yes.
Yesterday, day before yesterday, Lord Bilimoria of UK, he was speaking on our stage and he said, I was at COP26 in Glasgow for a week and a half out of 2 weeks, and I spoke in at least 30 meetings and assemblies that were there. And in this week and a half that I was there, I did not hear the word soil being mentioned anywhere by anybody. What is this? Why is this happening? Well, this is a question all of you must ask. Why? Why is it soil is not being spoken about when 40% of the global warming is because of soil conditions? Why is it? If you don't understand what I'm saying, you may not get it in Hague. We must take you to Chennai and put you out in the sun to dry for 3 hours and then let you walk under a tree cover, under the tree shade, you will know what is climate change. Experientially, believe me. So I'm saying every other life, it's the same thing. They need shade and they need moisture, all right? Every life, microbial life, worms, insects, everybody needs some shade and needs some moisture. If you don't provide that, life will die in many ways. But we are not talking about it for some reason. You investigate that why, because if I talk about it, opposition will rise. I'm not against anybody. So, soil is important, nobody can deny it. Why we're not talking about it? Maybe it's a dirty business. Because a lot of people call… in many countries, people call soil as dirt. If that is dirt, you and me are dirt bags. Hello? That's what we are. So, we have agreements and agreements, yes, it's important. Some progress has been made there, significant progress, I would say. I very much respect that. So, air is not less important, water is not less important, but without soil, these things won't happen. To give you some idea of what this is, see, about approximately around 1 billion years ago, one very smart algae or a fungi got a bright idea. Like Rahul, there'll be some bright ones. They got a bright idea. They discovered, have you seen that Indian ad which says Dimak ka batti jalao ad? Have you seen that? Yeah, it's like that. So bright idea came and everywhere it is being depicted. Maybe some 15,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago, one caveman, always it's a man, all the ladies so you must understand who should be cooking at home, because it's a man who found how to cook food with fire, so he should be the one who should be continuing. It could oh, look at this. So, we don't know man or woman, somebody discovered how to cook food with fire, isn't it? Changed the very perspective of life for us, yes or no? Similarly, much more important thing one very smart fungi or algae did, it discovered how to cook its food with the perpetual energy from the sun. And that phenomena, today we call it as photosynthesis. Using the photo, that is the light from the sun, we synthesize food. Essentially, we are all carbon life, Today there are a whole lot of online scientists or WhatsApp scientists. If you say carbon, they'll say poison, poison. No, we are all carbon life, every life is carbon life here. So they started absorbing carbon from the atmosphere and making carbon sugars and started putting it into the soil, because there is a whole lot of microbial life who are traders who are looking… they have their own nutrients, they will give it to the plant life only if they give them carbon sugars, otherwise they won't. So this exchange process started. Today it is the most sophisticated marketplace on the planet, is right beneath your feet. Tremendous amount of things happening. I cannot even go about describing what it is. We may know 1% of it, that 1% is mind-boggling, okay? Nothing like anything human beings have done, that kind of complex activity. So once that happened, photosynthesis started. At that time, the oxygen level in our atmosphere was approximately 1.2%. With 1.2% oxygen, you cannot be here, I cannot be here. Today it is around 21%, so we are feeling comfortable. So the oxygen levels in the atmosphere are one of the key elements for complex life to develop upon this planet. So what I am saying is, what is happening in the soil beneath your feet, just in the first 12 to 18 inches of soil, who you are right now is a consequence of this activity. In many ways, your body is a reflection of what's happening beneath the soil. But without this link, both water and air wouldn't be what it is today. Right now we are enormously focused on carbon dioxide in the air. We could shift the focus to oxygen a little bit. Hello? Hello? You breathe carbon dioxide or oxygen? You need oxygen, right? So, if you enhance the photosynthesis on the planet, some kind of leaf, cover crops or regular crops, what you're growing, bushes, various other kinds of vegetative matter, trees, whatever, more photosynthesis needs to happen. If you want to understand this, 500 years ago, let's say 1,000 years ago, how much photosynthesis was happening on this planet and how much is happening today means we are 85% down, 85% down. 85% less photosynthesis than what was happening approximately 1,000 years ago. This is a suicide. Whether we will kill ourselves or the next generation or the next one is the only question. But we have set the clock. Now I'm talking about reversing the clock. You grow your crops, but keep the land green. It needs incentives to do that. Right now they won't do it without it. So this is why policy is needed. Without the necessary policy, there will be no incentives because there will be no budget. You and me can talk about it. Environment is a favorite subject today in the tea parties and dinner parties. That's not going to solve any problem. The problem will be solved only when it is enshrined in our policy, because only when it's enshrined in the policy, the government machinery gets into activity and the budgets get allocated. Without that, there is no solution. So please, save soil, let's make it happen. In these 100 days, please talk soil. If you want to say, Rahul, if you want to say I love you to somebody, just say save soil. It's a more committed way of expressing your love. There is a Save Soil anthem, if you can…
This very body is soil. My body, your body, everybody is just soil body. The magic of soil is it turns death into life. Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
Next 100 days, you must reverberate, make this reverberate across the planet, okay? Today you have the technologies and tools in your hands. You have the technologies and tools in your hand that actually one person can reach the whole world. What? Hello? Let's make it happen, please. This is… Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sadhguruji. Thank you for making the awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you to please just wait for Sadhguruji to leave. I'd also like to announce that we have refreshments in the conference room for all of you to savor, so please feel free and enjoy the refreshments from the Embassy of India. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Check. I'm sorry, could you please give us your name?
My name is Vipin Mohorir.
Vipinji, how did you find the event and what were your feelings after listening to Sadhguruji today?
I think, it's extremely inspiring to listen to him, and the beauty of his explanation is he makes it so simple to understand. So the simplicity really, kind of carries you through the mission, through the message. So I think it was wonderful to hear such simple concepts and simple solutions to very complex problems. And that's something which I love about Sadhguru.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. पुष्पिता जी नमस्कार। आपसे एक सवाल करना था थोड़ा सा हमारे ऑडियंस के लिए। आप अपना नाम ज़रा बताएं प्लीज़ हमें, और आपको कैसा लगा इस इवेंट में सद्गुरुजी से को सुन के?
मैं पुष्पिता अवस्थी, नीदरलैंड में हिंदी यूनिवर्स फाउंडेशन के निदेशक हूँ, कवि और लेखक हूँ, मिट्टी से जुड़ी हुई हूँ। मैं अक्सर ये बात कहती हूँ कि मैं गांगे माटी से बनी हूँ। मैं कभी ये नहीं कहती कि मैं स्त्री हूँ या मनुष्य हूँ, मैं कहती हूँ कि मिट्टी से बनी हूँ, और ये मिट्टी ही है जो 5 तत्वों को लेकर बनाती है। आज सद्गुरु जी को सुनकर मुझे लगा कि ये सचमुच जो माटी का पुत्र होना चाहिए, हम सबको वैसा ही होना चाहिए, उसका संदेश उन्होंने हम लोगों को दिया है। और हम लोगों को इससे बहुत ही वी विल प्राउड ऑफ ऑन दिस कि वी आर ऑन दिस अर्थ एंड अर्थ इज़ आवर मदर and mother is kind of is a power of our humanity and human body। तो ये सारी बातें, ये बहुत ही सौभाग्य की बात है। वो नीदरलैंड में है और नीदरलैंड की धरती पर मिट्टी की समस्याओं को समाधान करने के लिए हम लोगों ने अधिक उत्पादन के लिए जो केमिकल्स डालने शुरू किए हैं वो सबसे अधिक नुकसानदेह है। इसके लिए भारतवर्ष में गोबर की खाद का प्रयोग किया जा रहा है जो मिट्टी को रेत होने से बचाएगा। ये संदेश मैं सद्गुरु जी के सेव द सॉइल के मंत्र के रूप में कहना चाहूँगी कि गौ माता का गोबर ही इसके लिए एक प्रोटेक्शन है, एक आरक्षण प्रदान कर सकता है, सुरक्षा दे सकता है। धन्यवाद।
Sorry, I'm just going to steal you for a couple of minutes. What's your name?
I'm Marco.
Okay, Marco, how did you feel about the event, and what are your takeaways after listening to Sadhguruji today?
Well, I've been following Sadhguru for a couple of years, and it was like a pleasure to be able to come here. I do have to say that I wanted to ask, because we are here at the center of Gandhi, like the Gandhi Center. So I was very curious to ask a question about the role of activism within this project on soil, because unfortunately I really admire Sadhguru's faith, and I'm not so faithful in our current democracy and governments to, implement certain changes. So I wanted to ask about the role of activism.
Well, I'm sure there are different ways of reaching out to him because the mission is already on and it's going to be on for 100 days. So there would be ways to reach him. So I'm sure, I wish you good luck to hopefully to reach that. And thank you for coming today. Thank you. Bye-bye. Namaskar. Hi. Good afternoon, Mehti. Thank you so much.
You did a good job, really. Fantastic.
Thank you
passion
so
for you, I know that.
No, absolutely fine. I really enjoyed it. It was a blessing. If you could just introduce yourself, and our question is, how did you feel about today? What were your takeaways after listening to Sadhguruji?
I'm a Vinod Sahdev. I'm a chairman of the India Association and board member for India Business Chamber for last 30 years. And we really, is a fantastic event to what Guruji doing. And it really guides so much energy and so much power, so much passion to think for the new generation, what he's doing, which we have to wake up for that. And really what he's doing, he wakes so many people. Like me, I really go to save soil and go to tell all my friends, family and my networking, we have to care for that. And today morning I met him with a motorbike. We come to Boutenhof in Den Haag and we talked there almost 100 of people with him, and he's energetic and he's powerful, his message so clear, so beautiful, and so for humanity, and which is for a generation. We have to not think for ourselves. As our Hindu mythology says, think for others. We have to think for the whole world because the world is the one family. And thank you to Embassy of India and our Excellency Madam Sandhuji. She organized a wonderful meeting today, which is very nice. It's a very touchable and very clear message to the world, and people have to follow that.
Thank you so much for the takeaways, and I wish you good luck with the next step that you plan to take is spread this word around.
Definitely, I go to start right now. Don't go say anybody I love you. I say save soil. That's the best thing.
Thank you.
Thank you to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that was the Save the Soil mission, which the revered Sadhguruji is on, and we really hope that all those who could join from the Embassy of India and the Gandhi Center page were able to take away all the information and all the awareness that he has been creating regarding the Save the Soil mission. Thank you so much. This is Soumya Shukla from the Gandhi Center signing off. Have a wonderful day.